Welcome to the Experience Darden podcast. I'm your host, Brett Twitty, and you are listening to a new episode. On this episode of the podcast, we return to our ongoing spotlight on entrepreneurship here at the Darden School of Business with a conversation with Ronil Diyora. Ronil is a first-year student in our Full-Time MBA Class of 2024, and he also recently competed in the UVA Entrepreneurship Cup. We talk with Ronil about the software tool that he pitched, a tool focused on the preliminary diagnosis of skin diseases. He also shares insights about his MBA journey, what led him to Darden, how his first year has gone, and so much more. I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. So without further ado, here's my interview with Ronil Diyora. Ronil, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Brett. It's nice to be here and nice to be talking with you. I've listened to so many of your podcasts. Glad to be here.
Well, that's always fun when we are able to have a listener on the show. We'll note that we oftentimes will catch up with students who participated in UVA's E-Cup, the Entrepreneurship Cup that takes place here. There's 3 stages. One of the stages happened just a few weeks ago, and so it's exciting to have you here. Before we kind of dive into the interview, though, I want to see how things are going. I gather we caught you a little bit on a break between semesters.
Yes, exactly. So I just finished my last exam yesterday, and looking forward to the break from studies and all the recruitment work that was pretty intense until now. But now the 1 month of time is just for me to take a little bit of a break, rejuvenate myself, and work on my preparing for my recruitment stuff that I'm looking forward to. So I have a few interviews lined up. I'm working on that. I want to explore a little bit of a Charlottesville as well. Didn't get much of a chance in fall break. Looking forward to that. And looking forward to going to downtown on Christmas Eve and seeing how is it decorated.
For your first year students, you're a first year student, November to kind of early January, February. That's a busy time. Lots going on. You not only have schoolwork, but as noted, you got recruiting and getting ready for recruiting and interviews and all of that kind of stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about who you are. Tell us more about you. What's your background? What'd you do before coming to Darden?
Sure. So where should I start? Actually, my mom and dad keep on telling me that you have been working with tools since you were a child. So when my dad used to have a scooter, and whenever he used to do some work on the scooter, he has his own toolkit and all. So I used to ask him for the same tools that he wanted to work on the scooter, and I wanted to sit beside him and work on the scooter, even though I have no idea as a toddler. So I think that was innate in me in a long time, and then that's why I became an engineer. After engineering, I got an opportunity to go and work for a pretty big chemical and fertilizer manufacturing company. Again, love to work with hands. That's why I went into this work role and had fun doing this engineering work. But that was a great opportunity to learn how to lead people as well. So being a 20-something-year-old coming out of undergrad, I was assigned a team to lead the people who has been in the workforce as long as my age at that point of time, and I was assigned to lead them. So it was a great experience leading those people. Probably a little bit of a disasters in early months, but a great experience learning from them how to lead them. Now I can say that they are probably more like friends and parents in some sense, that those people that I've led. Great relationships with them, learned a lot with them. Eventually, I realized that it has my growth has started tapering off in terms of the knowledge that I'm gaining every single day, and the pace of work was pretty slow in the chemical and fertilizer industry because it works with the government. So I had my eyes and ears open what's going on in the technology world as well. Being an engineer and a science nerd, I keep on doing that. And so went into the startup world with an idea of 3D printing platform. We tried to match, I had a co-founder to start the company with, as a dear friend from undergrad. We started the company to focus on bringing 3D printing services on an online platform, in a sense that somebody has an extra capacity of 3D printers and somebody has a last minute need. Let's say it's a hobbyist, it's an industrial manufacturer, and they have some last minute that they can't fulfill from their own supply chain or in their own in-house machine. they need those needs. So we tried to match them on our platform, and yeah. So that was a great learning opportunity to work on that. We we started with a nationalized model, but it was end of 2019, and as you can imagine, in within 2-3 months the world changed. So we had to we had to pivot our business model, and yeah, that didn't work out as well as much as we would have wanted and as much as we tried. But yeah, we shut down the company eventually because we realized that this is not going to work out at this point of time. Probably the great idea, but not great time right now. But that learning definitely helped me a lot, because going through the startup world, I thought that I have a little bit of an interest in business as well, and I would want to learn how businesses work, how different areas and different silos of the business come together to run a business in a cohesive manner and in a single direction. And that's why I thought I can do this by running and growing my own business. Theoretically, I was right. Practically, the world is not so kind, and so got to learn that okay, if I want to do this in a very gentle way, business school can be a pretty great idea, because my co-founder had an MBA, and I was seeing him bringing all the skins on the table. I was like, okay, this is a good time to go for an MBA. People who knew me pretty well have been telling me since 2015-16 that you should go to a business school, you should go to a business school. And I was like, no, I'm not going to business school. I'm going to learn on my own. And here I am.
So you mentioned your first startup around this
Yeah.
idea of 3D printing.
Yeah.
And I wonder, how did you get the idea? What attracted you to that particular concept?
Yeah, sure. So actually, I used to visit business fairs and science fairs, even science fairs of the schools and engineering schools as well. And I used to see what kind of ideas they are generating and what are the new things going on in the world, apart from reading all the so resources on the internet. And at one of those places, I came across what you can say, hackerspace. Hackerspace are the places where people meet together. They have all sorts of equipment that you need to build something physical in and you can utilize those resources for just a minute amount of fee. Those resources are available 24/7 to you most places, and you can go there and do this. So I visited one of these places, and somebody introduced me to 3D printing there. That okay, this is a 3D printer and this is how it works. And I was like, oh wow, this is an amazing technology. Let's research about this. So I researched a lot, talked with a couple of experts in the field, got to visit, fortunately, even though the company was closed on that day. Somebody was very kind to let me in the inside the office area, and got to visit one of the biggest 3D printing service provider in India at that point of time. Even right now, I'm guessing that yeah, they are the biggest service provider. He gave me a tour of what is 3D printing, and I was so fascinated that okay, this is something interesting that I want to learn how it's done. And coming from a manufacturing engineering background, I was always fascinated what is next in manufacturing. And that's how I got introduced to 3D printing. And yeah, from there on, that kept at back of my mind. And whenever I see something, I was like, can this be 3D printed? Can I bring something 3D printing here or not? So that's kept on my mind. And some point, I realized that okay, this is a business that there is a business gap here, and we can probably fulfill that. And that's how the idea came to.
Why do you think friends, family members, just people in your network kept saying you should do an MBA?
Because because whenever I see something, I would say that okay, this is not efficiently working. This is how it should work because of XYZ reasons. And all those things, like I kept on telling them, okay, this is how a business runs. And when something new comes into mind, I would think about how a business can be run out of that new idea or technology or science experiment or something that scientists come up with, right? And probably they got bored, my friends and family, that okay, this guy keeps on talking about business. How can this be turned into business? How can we bring this to the masses? How can it be accessible to everybody and all these things? And they probably got bored, and they're like, nah, you should go to business school. But the people who actually attended business school, a couple of close friends, including my co-founder, have attended business schools, and they were telling me that okay, you get to learn a lot, you get to meet a ton of great people in the business schools, and you get to build great relationships and networks with the people who eventually are going to be your foundation for your future success. And so that's why you should go, keeping aside all the aspects that like I keep on bragging that no, I will learn on my own. I will learn on my own. And they were like, yeah, you can, and you can learn and you will do learn on your own. But the network that business schools provide and the people that you will meet there will not be accessible outside of those environment. And that's why I was like, okay, yeah, let's do this.
Well, what got you interested in Darden specifically? How did you end up in Charlottesville?
Sure. So this is also a bit of an interesting story. So I started applying so I decided after shutting down our company, a startup, I decided that, look, I want to do a business and I wanted to go to business school and I would apply to business schools. I did not have GMAT at that point of time. So I started appearing for GMAT and all. I had a pretty decent score in end of October 2020. And then I started applying in round two. Let's keep in mind at this point of time, I didn't know what Darden was at that point of time. And with the score in my hand, I was like, okay, this is the theme of my life. I will start about pretty high level that, okay, I want to do this, and I'll try give it a couple of tries. That I'll not be able to achieve it. I'll learn something out of it, and then I get something that is pretty interesting to me and matches with my personality, right? So that's what happened first time around. I applied to some business schools, and I was like, no, I'm going to just those brand names and all these things. So like keeping in mind, India has certain business schools have better brand understanding than the other business schools because of XYZ reasons. But yeah, I was like, okay, these are the brand names that I know. I just applied to them. I didn't know what Darden is at that point of time, and applied, didn't get through on most of them. One of them kept me. I was like, okay, you can get after round three or something. I was like, no, I'm not doing that afterwards. But after the break of like not getting anything in that cycle, I had a pretty small group conversation with Donna Clark, our admission director, and that actually converted me because I was looking at the schools that, okay, which schools do I want to apply next? And Darden came to my mind, and I had a conversation. I think it was first or the second conversation with somebody at Darden. I talked with her. She gave pretty good insights on what school is about, what is case method, what are the professors, what Darden offers to the students, and all these things. And then I got hooked to the school. I talked with so many people at the school. I think at that, like within next 3 to 4 months, I might have talked with more than 25 people at Darden, either alums or either current students. And yeah, I got sold at that point of time that this is the place I would want to be because I did want to learn a lot, and I think a case method is a pretty great way to learn rather than just sitting in a lecture where professor comes, gives a lecture, we ask a couple of questions, and then we move on to the next lecture rather than learning from each other's experiences, right? So yeah, that's how I came across Darden, and yeah.
So you mentioned the case method. It sounds like maybe as you started off this journey, did you know much about the case method, and how did you learn more? Like what converted you essentially?
Not at all. So when I started this journey, I had no idea what case method is, but I think this conversation was with somebody who was a second year at that point of time, and he's an alum right now, working in on the West Coast. He explained me actually probably his first couple of weeks of what case method is about, like what he was feeling in the case method and what he learned out of it. So he talked about how you start talking, coming from South Asian background, will not start speaking much in class because of our upbringing and all. We'll not start speaking a lot. And he too was going through the same phase. And he explained that when you are not speaking in the class, probably you are bringing down the learning experience of everybody because you are not speaking and because you are not asking questions. There are people in the class who have the same questions or even probably deeper questions than what you have in your mind right now. If you start asking the questions, we'll get into that rabbit hole and we'll get to the root of that problem, right? And that's what that's where professors come in and they try to engage the conversation. Like at this point of time, I have 2 quarters of experience, right? So I know, and I have had some of the best experiences of in terms of the professors of Darden, like Luan and Mark. They like I never imagined how accounting can be taught in case method. And now after learning from Luan, I'm sold. Accounting should be learned just by case method, not by lectures, because that's how you learn how to apply the rules and the standards of accounting to real life. How do you bring it to real life? What are the levers into doing that, and how people do that? And how can you as a manager learn what to do, what not to do, and what to keep in your mind when you are looking through financial statements, right? So I think a lot of these things came from that one person who helped me understand what case method is, and he walked me through his entire experience, what he was feeling, and how did he learn what case method is.
It's interesting that point about maybe being a little bit reluctant to speak up at first, and yet, the students need to actually be willing to engage in that conversation for everybody's learning benefit. What was that like to kind of think through that and think about maybe your responsibility to your fellow classmates?
Yeah, so this happened with me exactly as well. I didn't speak much in the class because I had a little bit of I didn't had gestation period as well. Like I came here just before our main orientation started. International students have another orientation. I saw before the actual orientation that we have. So I just came here before 1 week because I had some visa issues and couldn't come in time here for the ISOP. So I didn't get a gestation period of settling in my house, settling in the Charlottesville area and the weather. And also for the first 3 weeks, if I'm not wrong, I didn't speak much in class because I was still going through that transition phase of going to a different country, not seeing my friends and family regularly, meeting new people here, getting accustomed to new type of waving, new type of greetings and all. Because I remember first day, I was going through the Darden hallways and somebody said like, how are you doing? And I was like, I'm doing good. How are you? And that person didn't even stop to listen to me. And then I realized this is a custom of southern US that people ask anybody who is going on the way that how are you doing? This is just a way of saying hi. It's not about like exactly asking. They might be actually willing to, but I was shocked that that person asked me how are you doing, and they didn't even stop for me to respond and listen to my answer. But yeah, I was going through all these things, so I wasn't speaking a lot. But once I got the hang of how the class works, how professors actually made us understand what the accounting no, sorry, not accounting, the KISS method is, how do you participate in the class. And so that helped me understand, okay, I have a responsibility as well in class to speak up whenever I am in a doubt, even though it feels like I might not be 100% there, or I might not be the subject matter expert. And then even speaking up helps bring out experiences of the people who are subject matter expert, in a sense that, okay, this is how it works and these are the 5 whys behind that. And that's why we do this. And that's from everybody's learning starts from there, that this is the grassroots level thing. And that's how you build your foundation of learning there. So yeah, I think professors are doing a great job at explaining everybody what are their responsibilities and making an environment where everybody can speak up, even though that person is a subject matter expert or that person is first time listening to the name of accounting or finance.
So just for our listeners, a couple things have been mentioned so far. Mark, I believe, is Mark Lipson, who is a finance faculty member here at Darden. He's been on our Office Hours faculty conversation series. Highly recommend that conversation to you. Luann is Luann Lynch, an accounting professor. She has a massive open online course or two focused on accounting, but her name comes up quite often here. And you mentioned ISOP, the International Student Orientation Program. That is, orientation programming specifically for international students that typically will happen before the class-wide Darden orientation for the first-year students. Ronil, I'm curious, you mentioned sort of this initial, what you referred to as gestation period, these few weeks when you were kind of getting comfortable. Did you have a light bulb moment when all of a sudden, maybe things got a little bit clearer for you, or you got more comfortable in class where you really said, okay, now I understand what's going on. I feel like I can contribute here?
Yeah, so actually, I think that was one specific moment in class of leadership where the professor had us all divided in small groups, and we had to go to a specific learning team rooms, and we had to talk about something that is very very close to us and very special to us. And that's where I start connecting with the people in my section, right? So I'm from section A, and every section has that like this small groups that had to go to their own rooms and talk through. We had a bunch of prompts. I think that point of time I realized that, okay, everybody has some or the other background. All these people, so these are all reminders. We already know all these things, right? But this was a reminder, and this was this was me bringing down to the reality that, okay, everybody has some or the other kind of experiences that are very much relevant to me or very different from me as well. But we are all human beings. Everybody is here to learn something, and that's why they are here. So all those prompts were related to that only. That, okay, why are you here? What is something that is very close to you? Yeah, what is your life experience, like what is your greatest memory in life, and all those things. So these prompts were just to help us understand and help us get close to each other. I don't know if that was intentional from the team or not, but leading organizations class had us do all this thing. And yeah, I think that was the period that I realized, okay, these are my classmates, I can trust them. So intentionally, that was not that I don't trust these people. It was just that my instincts that, okay, I'm in a different country, I'm surrounded by different people. I was on a back seat that my defenses were on. I didn't want to talk much because I didn't know what these people are. But that point, I think it changed it me, and I probably spoke in the class openly as well. That this point of time, I know that these are the 68 people that I trust, and these are my family, and I can I can speak anything in this section, and it will not go out this room. Those are the doors that are very closed for us, and we as a 69 folks are a family here, and we can speak about anything. This is our section norm as well. What happens in section 8 remains in section 8.
I appreciate that. Are there, you're here, at the conclusion of quarter two, you mentioned you had just taken your last exam for the quarter. You're looking ahead, you got one more quarter of core, if I'm doing the math right, and then you move into electives. Do you have a favorite memory or a highlight from your first year? Obviously the story that you just told is a great one, but anything else that stands out to you as like, gosh, this was a great moment in my first year here at Darden?
I think this is a memory of a friend. So she started. So she shared a story of her personal life in accounting class. That somehow she got see, somebody showed her that you don't know accounting, and so you should not talk about accounting when you don't know accounting, right? Because we were talking about something that we should look into accounts and all. And in the accounting class in Q2, at one point of time, she spoke up and she thanked Luan that I came to business school because I wanted to learn all this. And she told Luan that, Luan, because of you, I know what accounting is. And I can speak to that person now and say that, see, I know accounting and this is why I'm here. And that point, when this story happened in the section, and I realized that, okay, how much have I learned in this section, in this class. And this gets back me to probably one of your conversations with Jeff Tang, who was our career center coach here. And he talked about this on your podcast as well, about what is your learning out of where you came from and what you have learned until now, right? So everybody has a different starting point, and everybody goes to a different learning level, right? So somebody who has zero experience or zero background on the subject matter, they have the maximum to gain out of the program and for the specific subject, right? Because they don't know anything, and they are going to learn the max. Other people are going to learn a lot, but they are going to learn the basics as well, and they are going to clear the fundamentals as well. But the people like me who had zero experience in accounting and finance, I think that point made me realize how much have I learned during these 2 quarters, and how much have I uh, like how much the professors have helped us understand, like, okay, this is how this works, and they've broken down the courses so well that, like, after like this accounting and I don't know why I keep talking about these two courses, but these two courses are like semester long. They are 2 quarter long classes, and on each quarter end we do a case which summarizes everything that we have learned until now, until that quarter, right? So this is not just for these two classes. For almost every classes we do that, we will do a case which summarizes everything that we have done for the entire quarter. And that helps us realize that before starting the quarter, where we were, what we understood about the subject, and now after going through 14 or 13 classes, what we have learned, and how can we solve this case, and how can we look at this case differently because of that learning. So I think that moment made me realize that, okay, I'm learning a lot here.
So your classmate, it sounds like she was relaying a story, something she experienced before she got to Darden.
Yeah, before she got to Darden. Yeah, before she got to Darden, somebody told her, like, you don't know accounting, don't talk about accounting.
I think that's a good point that you make, kind of echoing Jeff Tang's feedback about, hey, focus on where you are in this process
Yeah,
and your
yeah,
learning opportunities. It's so easy to kind of look to the subject matter expert in the class and compare yourself to the person who's been an accountant or worked in finance or was a marketer or works in operations, whatever, prior to coming to Darden. But the reality is everybody's got their own race to run. They're on their own journey. And we make up all these stories about ourselves. Some of them are, self-imposed, our own ideas about limitations or what we do well or what we do less well. And then some of them come from external feedback, somebody telling us, you have no business talking about this, or you don't know anything about this. And we carry that with us as we go through any experience in life. And so it's very powerful for someone to kind of be able to set that, feedback aside and say, look, I have learned things here. I've proven to myself that I can do that. I think that is in many ways like the best of all possible outcomes. It becomes really affirming for people, right? If you can do this thing that you were told you can't do, or maybe you thought you couldn't do, then what else can you do? What else is possible here? So Ronil, I wanted to turn our attention to talk about the E-Cup, and you recently participated in the E-Cup. Tell us a little bit more about the concept that you entered into this competition that you participated with.
sure. So this is a startup that a friend is working on back in India, and it's an idea of how can you utilize technology, especially AI and machine learning, to help people to make healthcare more equitable for everybody, right? So that's a 36,000 foot level view of what the startup is all about. But what we as a startup, I'm helping them run the startup, and so I know a lot of things about this startup, though I'm not a co-founder or an active board member. But yeah, this is what we are trying to do. There is you take a picture of whatever you have on your skin, you submit it to the app. It's a mobile based app. You submit it to on the app. The app takes probably 3-4 seconds and gives out three results, that okay, these are the top three results, and we think that this could be one of the causes of whatever it is on your skin. So it's a skin disease, it's just a patch on the skin, it's just a rash, harsh on the skin, or whatever it is. And it just shows based on whatever we have fed to the machine learning algorithm, that these are the things that could be the possibility. So that's what it is all about. And the idea came from that friend of mine visiting a rural place in India, and seeing how easy is it to ignore skin diseases, because one, it is stigmatized. Second, it is taboo as well to talk about skin diseases openly. And third, you don't have that much accessibility of doctors in a population of 1.4 billion people, right? Especially dermatologists, because I think there are not more than 10,000 dermatologists for 1.4 billion of population, and most of them are, for obvious reasons, concentrated in the urban areas, versus probably 64 to 65% of our population is living in rural areas, right? So there is a disconnect of not having access to that, and then all, like, on top of that, stigmatization and taboo of not talking about those things openly. So that's where the idea came from, that can we do about this. He got in contact with a couple of researchers who are expert in machine learning and expert in on a and pathology, and yeah, using image to diagnose diseases. And that's how the idea came to the fruition, that we can probably do something about this. The idea is entirely based in India, and the entire feeding of the for the machine learning algorithm is based on India. So it is currently pretty well accustomed to the Indian conditions of environment, as well as the skin diseases and the skin colors. So it is pretty accurate in India. Probably last we checked, it is as accurate as, like, the theoretical standard of what is doctor's accuracy, or doctor or a dermatologist accuracy of diagnosing a disease, versus what is the machine's accuracy. So this is the machine, right? So that's accuracy, and we are at par right now. We can, with more research, and this can go beyond that. But yeah, that's the idea in general.
And what attracted you to getting involved with this startup?
Yeah, so as we talked earlier in earlier in my story, like, I keep on looking out on the technology world, what's going on. When I talked to this friend, what is he doing in his startup, and he said that this is what we are doing. And I realized that, okay, this is something very interesting that I would want to learn more about. I asked them, can I help you somehow, one way or the other? And they were like, yeah, sure, you can. And that's how I come in and help that specific friend help run the business and think about how can we bring it to market. What are the places that we can start with to bring it to market? I bring in my own experience of working on my own startup as well as advising one more startup of another friend, and that's where I come into the picture to help them bring it to market, and they bring in their expertise of already understanding the product pretty well.
How do you think your prior experience is helpful, instructive to you in this particular startup experience?
Sure. So I think the way that I and my co-founder for my 3D printing startup, we went on, you can say, road tours. We went and met a lot of manufacturers in India, especially in the western part of India. And we met a lot of people there to understand what are their needs, what are their shortcomings in the current supply chain, what are their problems. And so talking with these people helped me understand that, okay, I can talk with these people and understand what are their needs and where can we come in as a solution provider to help them. So I think that's where I came in as an helpful person, and that's how I realized that, okay, I can help you with bringing in people from different medical backgrounds, as well as, like, I have a few friends of mine who are doctors, and so yeah, we keep on talking about what they face as they issues they face as a doctors. And so yeah, I think those two things combined, I think I realized that, okay, I can be helpful here. They had their own experiences, but this person is also going through a business school, and then he's like, yeah, I can use all the help I can get. And I was like, yeah, sure, I can I can definitely help you with this, because I have an experience of working with grassroots and on the ground level, what to talk with people, how to talk with them, what are their needs, understanding their needs, and then like probably even tweaking our business model if needed, or versus explaining them how can our business help them uh, help them give better services from the doctor's perspective, give better services, and from the patient services that they don't have, patient perspective, they don't have to go to a doctor every single time they see something on the screen.
How did you decide you wanted to participate in the e-cup? What led you to sort of take the leap and say,
Sure. So actually, a friend asked me, classmate of mine asked me, "Do you want to participate in this?" And I thought, I was like, "Yeah, sure. We'll think through this over the fall break, because we received this email or the Q1, and we'll think through this." But during the fall break, I was visiting Seattle for some tech trek, and at that point of time, I was talking with this friend, and he is like, "Yeah, sure. If this is an good opportunity, you want to learn how to pitch and all." And I have a stage fright. Yeah, I get scared. I get scared a lot on, like, talking with a lot of people in front of me. And he's like, "It's a great opportunity for you to learn as well, right? And you can pitch an idea of what we are working on and see if you can get some the feedback out of it, as well as you can work on your stage fright as well, right?" So I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do this then." That's why I took their consent and submitted the application. And yeah, did get to fight my stage fright talking with talking with expert panel in front of me and a few audience members in front of me.
well, a quick pause in the entrepreneurial conversation. Tell us about the tech trek. Our listeners may not know a ton about this. You went out to
Oh, sure.
Seattle. What is a tech trek?
Yeah, sure. So every year, like in last 2 years, because of COVID, it wasn't organized. But every year, the consulting, not consulting club, but the tech club, and our career coach, Jenny Zenner, who is specifically focusing on technology recruitments and technology jobs, they organize a trek to the West Coast and to the biggest of the companies, even smallest of the companies, if they are open to visiting us. And we, as a cohort of students, go from East Coast, from Charlottesville to the West Coast, visit those companies and their headquarters, and or even the smaller offices, and sit down with them, talk with them. What are their problems that they are trying to solve? How are they solving them? Where their MBA experiences come in, because most of these people are already Darden alums that we are talking with, and they have they have graciously agreed to invite us and host us. So we talk with them about how is their MBA experience coming in helpful, and technical questions on the recruitment as well. So this is what we do every single year. We go over the fall break to the West Coast and visit those companies, big hires as well as small hires, like number of people they'd hire.
And in terms of cities, I believe you went to San Francisco and Seattle. Do I have that?
Yeah,
right?
so we usually go to San Francisco mostly, but this time around, after COVID, the situation has changed a lot, and there are not a lot of people who are actually living in San Francisco and working in offices in San Francisco because of the remote world. But we, like as in Tech Club and Jenny Jenner's contact, were able to find out a lot of people who are actually in Seattle, even though they are visiting the office or not. And that's why we focused on Seattle this time around. But yeah, it is usually San Francisco. Seattle is the secondary priority because San Francisco had a major population density until now. But this time around, we got more traction from Seattle. That's why we went to Seattle this time around.
All right, Ronil. So you mentioned stage fright or feeling a bit nervous speaking in front of groups. Obviously, something you have to do if you're participating in the E-Cup is you have to make a pitch, you have to make a presentation. So what was the impact? What was the experience of participating in the E-Cup like for you? What'd you get out of it?
Oh, so when I was probably one of the last person to present, and so I was in the audience member for the quite a significant amount of time, and I got to learn a lot because there is a UVA wide competition, right? So a lot of undergrad schools as well as graduate school students come there to pitch their own ideas. This was just basically engineering and healthcare track, so people from those specific areas come for the major part of it. But I got to learn a lot from them. How are they pitching their ideas? What are their innovative things that they are doing in terms of what they are speaking, how they are speaking, their connotations on the voice notes, what are they doing with their hands and physical gestures and all those things. So while I was there, I was also including all those things in my own pitch that, okay, I would want to include this, that, and all. But I have a couple of great friends here who helped me a lot, who are actually pretty great orators as well as communicators. They helped me prepare the pitch and what should I talk about, what are the things that I should keep in mind. So yeah, great community resources first of all, and then yeah, great experience of getting feedback from the experts as well. They also helped me, like they had to come up with some questions to help me and help them understand what our business model is, and they're like, this is magnificent work that you are doing. This should be part of your pitch. This should not come out as your like we should be asking these questions, right? So got great like learning experience from that as well. What to include in our pitch versus what to we can keep on the sideline that okay we can talk about if comes time to that for that. But this is the thing that we should be really focusing on. So yeah, great experience in understanding what to do and like yeah, as I was talking about the good communicators and great orators that I have as in my friend group, and they help me understand what to do, how to talk with these people, how to keep my eye contact with whom, how do I keep myself calm and composed that I don't start sweating and all in front of the crowd. But yeah, great resources here. Actually, UVA also organized one of the workshops for us to understand what should we talk about, what to expect from the judges, what as in competitor organizers they are expecting from us to talk about during the pitch. We had a video pitch as well as a physical pitch in front of them and probably 7 or 8 minutes of question and answer. So that also helped a lot in understanding, okay, this is how I should narrate my story and build my story. Where should I talk about what? And yeah, so it's a great experience. Actually, a lot of community support in there from UVA side as well as from the friend circle.
There's typically 3 stages in the E-Cup.
Yeah.
Are you planning to participate in the other stages?
So I've been asking this question a lot of times, and I'm not pretty sure at this point of time because the next phase is in February, which is about going beyond just the idea and explaining at least an MVP of this is our minimum viable product and this is what we are planning to do. So I'm not really sure if we want to go to that stage or not, but yeah, definitely I'm excited that if we go to that and we'll do that because it requires a lot of energy from my end as well to prepare for the pitch and from the startups end as well because I'll be tapping a lot of their resources. So let's say in mid January probably we'll sit down and discuss: do they have those resources? Do I have time and energy to spend on this thing? Because at that point of time, a friend pushed me a lot to do this. honestly, I would not have done it because of that stage fright, because that friend pushed me a lot. Like, no, no, you do this, you do this. So we'll sit down again in January and see if we can do this again in terms of our energy level and do we have time to do that.
Well, excellent. Curious about what you're looking forward to in the coming months.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, one thing actually we do pretty great at Darden is building goodness in April, right? So I'm looking forward to do see what we are going to do with the money that we have raised. We have raised whooping amount of $84,000, more than no $90,000. Yeah, $90,000 over the auction a couple of weeks back. And yeah, I was on the team that was running auction for the Section 8. So to a little bit of a background, if you don't mind for the listeners, it's about uh, students and professors come together and then they donate or give out physical things as well as experiences. So professors generally give out experiences of going on a dinner with them on their favorite restaurant or at their home. Some professors even take people on their tour of their house and then probably pool and like Mark has a pool, and so he has pool this time around that, okay, I have a pool table, new pool table that I bought. And so I will put in that, look, you can come to my house, we can have a dinner and we can play the pool as well. So this kind of things professors give, we students being broke right now, we generally give out experiences that, okay, this is the experience that I can give. So some funny experiences were like somebody gave experience of going to Costco with you. I, being an international, I've never been to Costco. I bid it for that. I was like, okay, sure, I would want to go there. If you are an expert at what's to take out, what's to buy from Costco, definitely I'd want to do that. So it's a fun experience. People bid on different things, and yeah, whatever is the bidding amount does not go to the person who has donated. It goes to the charity, to the Building Goodness in April organization, which helps people of underprivileged community build their houses in the spring months of April. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. We have raised a ton of amount of money and we would want to see what we want to do. Section A, actually, shout out to Section A here. We raised 14,000 last year. We raised 28,000 this year, double the amount. And 32% of the entire year, I guess, more than 32% of the entire year. So highest amount ever that was raised by us. And so we are very proud as a team to that we are four people who are organizing this. So we are very proud that whatever efforts we have put in are actually reaping benefits. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, in the spring months, I would definitely want to go out and do a few hikes because until now, I've just been able to do one hike because of all the things and all the information and experiences that is coming to me. I kept the outdoors sideline because I want to meet more people first, then do all the other things that I'm interested in, the outdoors and all. But I'm hoping that I can get more time to do outdoor stuff and the summer, during the spring and summer.
Ronil, one of the things that I really enjoy about what you shared thus far is a lot of it has to do with pushing outside your comfort zone, or maybe moving into those areas where you're like, this is not something that comes super easy to me, but giving it a try, recognizing there's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and develop. As you think back on your MBA journey, was that something that was important to you, or do you think it's something that you kind of discovered, this is something I want to be part of my MBA experience now that you're here at Darden?
Yeah, sure. So actually, this is something that a recent alum told me, and somebody again told me like this recent alum reminded me, and somebody like when I was not a Darden student, somebody told me to prepare a list of things that you want to do when you are in a base school and do it before you get an admit. Like they were very specific about that, because after you get an admit, there will be a ton of resources coming your way, and you might not get time to do that. But prepare a list of things that you want to do, and so I had that list, like a rough list. Okay, these are the things that I would want to do. And I have intentionally included a lot of things that I would not do without uh, on my own to say the least, right? Because I do not want to go out of my comfort zone. But yeah, so those things definitely help a lot here while I'm in the program and I don't have much of a time to think about do I want to do this or not. But like let's say every 1 month or every 2 3 weeks, I would go back to that list and see if if I'm trying to do one or the other thing out of that list. Okay, this is what I want to push myself on. This is what I want to do: build relationship with the people, talk with the people, understand their culture, all those things. So Yeah, so that little bit list is helping a lot. And somebody else very recently, an alum told me, he's like, see, the thing that I'm missing right now the most is the thing that I didn't do while I was in MBA. And so that's why I'm trying to push myself right now to get time for everything. And I asked him the same question that I'm going to answer right now. But yeah, I asked him, like, how do you get time to do all those things when you have so many information and so many things to do in front of you? And he said me, you can do it. You just have to figure out how to do it. There is time to do every single thing. You just have to. And that's what I'm trying to keep in my mind right now, that, okay, I have a lot of things to do, but I have to figure out how to manage my time, how to manage my energies, how to manage the resources that I have on my hand, and try to do all the things that I want to do, and all the, like, tick off the boxes on that list that I have prepared before coming to B school, and understand, like, okay, where can I go from here?
Yeah, I guess it becomes about priorities at some
Yes, exactly.
point. What's most important to you? I recognize it's probably a very long list, but can you tell us maybe something, one or two things that are on your list? Would you feel comfortable sharing that with our podcast listeners, just to kind of give us a
Yeah,
flavor of what you were thinking about?
sure. So, uh, I don't remember the list at top of my head right now, but I think there was one thing about getting on the boards of these clubs and helping community give back. So I'm on the board of Humans of Darden right now as a first year liaison, obviously. But yeah, I'm on the board, and we are doing. Uh, so I'm not good with public speaking, right? As I said earlier, but I'm good with talking one on one with people. So that's what I wanted to leverage and help people bring out stories of people, right? And that's when I learned about what Humans of Darden is about, and our Instagram page of Humans of Darden. I was like, okay, sure, I would want to do that. And that's why I applied for that specific role of helping the two folks that are already doing a great work, to help them bring out more flavor from the first year students, because I'm in the first year, they are in the second year, so they might not know as many first years. So bring out more flavor from the first year folks who have pretty great stories, but they might not talk openly, might not talk publicly. So what we are trying to do here is we try to see if they have some interesting stories that everybody can relate to, as well as at the same time they say that, okay, this is something unique that they went through, and that is what is defining them right now, who they are and their goals and their priorities in their life. So that was something that I wanted to do, to give back to the community. And yeah, so that's one thing that I from the list. I think the other thing was going out on as many hikes as possible. Not not great on that list right now, until now, but yeah, I think I'll be there by end of 20 months of my time here.
Yeah, my sense is that people find more time for those kinds of things in the second year. When we talk to second year
Yeah.
students here on the podcast, I think
Yeah, we
your
have a saying
time.
of SYBY, yeah, hashtag SYBY, second year based year. But whoever I'm talking to are saying that no, it's not. Because that's the thing, right? Like in the first year, you wanted to give back to the community a lot, but because of the parity, you can't. But in the second year, since you have more time, because you are off recruitment for the most part, and you have more time to focus on other things, you take on leadership responsibilities, and that is helping us run the school, right? But this is a student led and student run school, right? So you take on responsibility, and then you get busy with that. So yeah, it's a good misnomer. SYBY, we keep on saying that it's a second year base year, but yeah, it does not turn out to be that for everybody, in terms of like just having fun every single day. They are having fun in doing what they are doing, but not like, yeah, they are busy every single day as well.
Yeah, I think it's probably fair to say second year busy year because of all the things that you mentioned. Last question for you here, Ronil, as we wrap up. Piece of advice that you would share with our listeners, something you would encourage them to keep in mind as they go forth on their MBA journey.
Oh my God. I am feeling like I should say something profound here, but I don't have a lot of things to say profound here. But I would say just have fun on your journey. Try to see what kind of people you are getting to talk with, and it definitely makes sense. Like somebody gave me this advice when I was going through my own application journey for the business schools. So when I asked this person, like, I'm not able to understand which schools do I apply to, versus which school I do not apply to, and they told me to just talk with people and see if you can match with their vibes or not, match with what they are saying. Can you understand them, what they are saying? Can you understand the culture that they are describing there, can you fit into that culture or not? So I would say just try to do that more than the other things like rankings and the brand value and all those things, which I definitely did. And I understand that those are not the important things in my life. More important things are what are the kind of people that I'm going to surround myself with. And since we are going to spend pretty ups and a journey full of ups and downs with these people, it is going to rub off us as well. So it makes sense probably to think about what kind of person you want to be and try to surround yourself with the people that you want to be, and go to that business school.
Well, Ronil, thank you for your time today. It's great to have you here on the podcast. And what great advice. Think about who you want to be and find those people, surround yourself with those people. I appreciate your sharing your experience with our listeners, and best of luck on your startup entrepreneurial journey. Excited to hear more.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Brett. And it was fun talking with you.
And that was my conversation with Ronil Diyora, a first-year student in our full-time MBA class of 2024. As always, if you have any comments, suggestions, requests, anything you'd like for us to cover here on the podcast, we're all ears. We can be reached at Darden, that's DARDEN, at virginia.edu. Till next time, stay safe, be well, and thanks for listening.